Thank you very much.
Right, may I mention two bands to you, Guns N' Roses and the Rolling Stones. In particular, the Steel Wheels tour of the late 80s, on the back of the album of the same name, Guns N' Roses supporting the Stones. You had a bit of an epiphany whilst at that concert, would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, that was the concert. I mean, I had not been getting high in a long time, and I happened to get high at that concert.
Okay, we're talking marijuana.
Yeah. Yes. Highly decriminalized in the United States these days. In any event, yeah, I had the epiphany there that helped me become a producer, where, you know, as I had become genuinely enamored of being a literary agent and helping Calder Willingham and other people whose work I admired. But I looked up on stage and just saw, well, I had two kind of thoughts. One was, you know, going into the concert in America, everyone thought that Guns N' Roses was going to blow the Stones away, and that there was just, this would be the final nail in the coffin of the dinosaurs, you know, from the 60s. And so, you know, that was kind of the anticipation. We went to the concert, and Guns N' Roses was really good. And then the Stones, you know, just were on a whole other level. It was amazing. And so that was one thing. And then the other thing that happened there was just watching the Stones play. They were having so much fun doing what they were doing, and it made me reflect on my life and realize, as much as I was enjoying what I was doing, there was no way I was ever going to have one moment of fun that approached what they were having right now, that they got to have all the time. And so I had to ask myself why that was and what that was about. And, you know, for what it was they were doing something that they created, and they were just having a fantastic time doing it. And my job didn't allow for that because I was in a supporting role. And I, you know, remembered back to being a musician and writing songs and working in a studio and that feeling, and realizing that I missed it and that I wanted to do that with my life. And then when I asked myself why the Stones were so much better than Guns N' Roses, it had to do with the songs that they wrote and how great the songs were, and how those songs were going to be around a long time because of how good they were, and that was just clearly not the case with Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, so it was almost about leaving, you wanted to do something where you could leave a legacy, do something creative, but why did you choose to become a producer and say not a director?
Well, this is maybe or maybe not true, but I always, because of the stories that I'd heard, I didn't know that much about movies at the time. I was, you know, working in them for maybe a year or two at that point. And I just assumed, like, you always hear the stories about Steven Spielberg and Martin Scorsese and whatever, you know, just being in their backyard with the Super 8 camera when they were 6 years old, you know, making these brilliant films. And, you know, I don't know how to ski, not a very good golfer. There's just certain things in life where you see that people who started young could do things in a way where it's second nature to them, and just their form is so good, and it's like breathing or walking to them. And I felt the whole idea of trying to tell a story through, like, okay, we'll do this shot, and we'll go into this shot, and we'll go into this shot, that seemed like a language that if you didn't learn it early, like learning a foreign language, then you're always kind of you know, the effort always shows it's not going to be natural. You're just like so far behind that seemed completely unattainable to me at the time. You know, I'm a terrible actor, I'm a very mediocre writer, and so there was very few options left in terms of being a principal part of the movie-making process. Process of elimination, I guess.
I think you're being slightly modest.
No, that's not true.
No. Okay.
I'm a mediocre writer and a terrible actor, for sure.
There you go.